like a large caramel macchiato with an extra shot and whipped cream, please.
Come again?
Wait, hold on. How much is that?
$4.85.
Okay, better drop the extra shot. What does that make it?
$4.20.
Better make it a small. What does that make it?
$3.30.
Better drop the whipped cream. What does that make it?
Less calories.
Oh my God, and he flew all the way to New York to tell me that. That's so romantic.
It's beautiful, really.
You're not even allowed to leave the state.
What's that now?
Using his vast knowledge of history and politics, we start our day off right with motivational speaker Richard Battle.
Yeah, we've got him again this Wednesday. Richard Battle, the man who wrote AmeriCANS, Who Made America, 19th Century Growth, Division, and Reunification. Love this book, by the way. I gotta go. I was a huge fan of the other one you wrote, AmeriCANS, Who Made America, 18th century, because, founding fathers, you got a lot there. But I'm telling you, the cast of characters in the 19th century, I don't know. I'm trying to go with what's my favorite, and I'm sitting there going, you heard a lot about these. These guys are rock solid. I like the overall stories of the 19th century better. Is that fair?
Maybe that's fair to say.
Okay.
And as Jefferson said, and thank you, by the way, for having us back to bat lead off. As Thomas Jefferson said, in matters of taste, swim with the current. In matters of principle, stand like a rock. There we go. I love that. Do you have you can't say this, I suppose. It's like your kid. Do you have a favorite? Because I guess they're similarly written. I'm not getting on that. But maybe because we've all heard more about the 18th century folks, and there's new ones in there. It's just more colorful, I thought, the newest book. Am I wrong? I mean, do you feel different about the two? You got better at them? Well, I love all the characters, obviously, since that's why I chose them. But the unexpected stories are the things that grab me, because it tells us that we never know who among us may do some little small something that may change the future. And that's what's so interesting. And so Sam Houston's mother, I've loved Sam Houston my whole life. He's the George Washington of Texas. He was such a great leader and everything. And I didn't even know until right before I started researching this volume about the act his mother did, the small act, and how it changed his life, Texas and America. And that to me was so inspiring. Yeah. So I'm going to recount it since you asked.
Well, it's the ring, right? That's what you're talking about.
Yes.
So the Ring of Honor. Oh, yeah.
When he, at 19 years old, was going off to fight the War of 1812 with Andrew Jackson, and his mother took him on the back porch to bid him goodbye. And she said, if you're a coward, you'll always be welcome home. If you're a coward, never darken my door. But if you show courage, you'll always be welcome. And she gave him a small gold ring. Inside it, so only he could see it, was the word honor. He wore that ring every day the next 50 years of his life. He died with it on. That ring's at the San Jacinto Museum outside of Houston. And I can just envision him contemplating an important decision, twisting that ring and that word honor coming into his mind. What would be honorable, and how that influenced his decision-making and the success that he had later and the influence on us.
That is exactly what I'm talking about in this book. And again, maybe because the 18th century, we probably know more about those people and that sort of thing. But some of the stories in this new one, the ring with honor in it, I had never heard before. I had no idea about it. And it's like, holy Hannah, and how that ripple effects down the line. And it started in Texas. You're a Texas guy. It's that sort of stuff. That's why I'm leaning toward the new one. I don't know. You can't say it, but I can. I'm leaning toward the 19th.
Well,
the stories are amazing.
It shows that because of that, we influence the future much more than we think we will. And I tell a story when I speak that we will influence the future 100 years from today. Every one of us. The only question is who and how. Yeah. And I give an example for my family, and I illustrate it, and I challenge the audience, because to me, when I figured that out, and I wish I'd figured it out when I was 18 instead of more recently, when I figured that out, it changes my decision making. And that's so important for all of us as well, because we influence a longer period than we think with everything we do.
Absolutely. Today's topic, 3 most destructive character traits obstructing success. Now, I've been continuing to be unsuccessful most of my life, and I have a list of hundreds of ideas and why. But you're saying the three most destructive characters are what?
Well, and the opposite side is things that will make you successful also. But I like to look at things from multiple sides and angles because we learn differently that way. And so we see some of this with little kids, and we see some of it with people who take, for example, a protest and turn it into a riot when these behavior traits come in. And so the first one is selfishness. People who want their way all the time. And if they don't get their way, what do? They throw a temper tantrum. And we see that from 3 and 4-year-olds because of human nature. They've not had time yet to be broken like a wild horse, if you will, and fit into society. They still exhibit their innate traits.
Oh, I love this one because it's almost the idea that we, for whatever you got into point, we don't tell children they're wrong. Oh, you think you're a cat? Yeah, okay. It's like, it's all about them. They can do and say anything they want, and that's okay. Like you say, a wild horse. You break them down to fit into society, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, but you're not a cat. Can't be a cat.
Without consequence. And so I was just reading a story before we came on because Little League All-Star teams are preparing for the Little League World Series now. And in New Jersey, they're getting ready for their state tournament, and a kid got suspended because he did a bat flip after a home run, and it's against the rules. And his parents are saying that all he did was emulate others that had been shown in videos and things. But he knew the rule, and he is going to pay the consequence. And so that's the thing that we've got to teach children early. If you disobey something that is an accepted norm and or a rule, there are consequences in real life.
See, I love that. Used to coach elementary, junior high golf. And golf is just one of those sports where everyone calls their own penalties. And it's so hard to teach a kid who wants to win. You have to count every stroke. And I share this story. My son will hate me. He was in some tournament thingy. We're going to the section something or other. And he is trying out a new club. He wanted a 3-wood, whatever it was. He was trying to put it in his bag. And we went off to go to start in the tournament. Now, once the tournament starts, I can't say anything. He walks up to me after the first hole. He goes, Dad, I have one extra club in my bag. He put it in. There's a certain number of clubs. He knew he had one extra one. Said, well, you know what to do. Took the club out, walked over to one of the guys, assessed a 2-stroke penalty on himself, and missed the tournament by 1. It's just what you got to do. Golf is such a great way. There's so many little putsy rules you call on yourself. I love that idea. The same thing with the flip and bat. You know what the rule was. And if that cost your team, it cost your team.
Well, exactly. And the opposite of that is true also if we're selfless. And selfless will bring benefits to us. And Zig Ziglar said so many years ago, you can get anything you want out of life if you help enough other people get what they want. And so it's interesting, and we've been around long enough, and I'm sure you have too, to see people who selfishly pursue things versus people who selflessly pursue them, and to see the difference of the effect over time, and it bears these principles out.
Oh, it absolutely does. We've got to go to break. We've got 2 more to talk about. We'll do it right after this with my man, Richard Battle. He wrote the book, my new favorite book, Americans Who Made America, 19th Century Growth, Division, and Reunification. More after this.
Dust from livestock buildings can be harmful to your animals and to you. Coughing animals can lead to costly vet visits and other serious health problems. Now there's an environmentally safe solution for your dust problems. It's called DustLock. DustLock can control the dust all summer long with just one application. Protect your animals and your health with DustLock. Learn more at dustlock.com.
Think about it. Now that school's out for the summer, how are Minnesota students doing? Not very well. Minnesota ACT scores fell again last year and are the lowest they've been in 10 years. In fact, fewer than half of Minnesota students can either read or do math at grade level. Think about it. We used to brag about our schools. Now we're losing to states like Mississippi. Visit AmericanExperiment.org for more information. Think About It is brought to you by Center of the American Experiment, Minnesota's think tank.
as in alligator. L also in alligator. But it's not alligator. It's the Al Travis Show.
And we've got him, Richard Battle, in talking about the 3 most destructive character traits obstructing success. Selfish is one of them. What's the second one, sir?
Being short-sighted.
Okay.
Another word for that is impatient. People who are so much in a hurry that they try to eliminate steps in a process. I used to tell my sales guys that you couldn't take steps out of the sales cycle, but you could compress the time. And it's very much the same thing in other places as well. Negotiation skills. Think of cooking a steak. You can always tell somebody who impatiently cooked a steak because it's burnt on the outside and raw on the inside, for example.
Yep. Oh, yeah, I love that. And the third, final one, I suppose on the same side, long-term strategy then. If you're not short-sighted, you say there's 2 ways to look at that. So
Yes.
long-term, the ability to look ahead and see 3-4 moves ahead?
Yes, exactly. And so the more we think strategically, the better off we are, because that allows us to better complete each step as well. And we need to focus on progress, not these tactical decisions, because if we just make progress steady, we will accomplish those long-term strategies much more likely than if we press the short-term tactics.
Sure. And your third and final terrible thing that keeps us from succeeding?
Being temperamental. Again, we see little kids throwing a fit where 1 minute they're happy and the next minute they're screaming, going crazy. And we see that on a lot of people these days who don't like what's going on politically in their locale or state or the country. They just cannot deal with things. And the word is unhinged that's used today. We used to just say they were crazy, but that word's not good enough anymore. But,
and today that goes so much quicker than others. People are filming themselves going crazy and then putting it on their TikTok as they're screaming at the world. I'm like, we used to try to cover that up. They spread it out there now.
Well, exactly. And that's an alarm. And so, for example, if you go to work for an organization and your manager, supervisor, all of a sudden has an episode where they just blow their temper, the first time to me, that's an alarm. But if it happens a second time, then I'm looking for a way to move on and away, because that is not healthy for that person. And I don't want to be close enough to get the collateral damage off of it.
Love that. Do people know when they're falling in these traps? I mean, if I'm a boss and everything just seems that people just keep turning over and over again, I'm not finding the right person. Can I look at that and see that as possibly these are on me and not them?
Well, I think that's a great example. If people don't want to be with you and associate with you and team up with you or collaborate on different projects, these could be reasons why. And so we should look at that. If we're selfless, people will want to work with us because they realize that we're helping the team or helping them obtain their goals. If we focus on long-term goals and share that with people, the 7 habits of highly effective people Covey wrote about begin with the end in mind. And when you do that and people can see your focus long-term, they want to team with you. And if they see you can handle adversity and not lose your temper, again, that will promote them wanting to be with you.
Do you believe people can change that if you're naturally selfish, or you were grown that way, or you're a short-term guy, or you lose your temper quick? Can people change that?
Well, absolutely. We used to call that maturing. And 4-year-old kids could do that if they were properly trained and led by adults. That could happen. And so it used to be pretty normal. Now it's much more focused.
Okay, but so Al at 60 years old can change should I want to? I mean, in their books you can read, a self-help kind of thing. Is that what you're looking at?
Well, we can all change and improve, and that's the important thing. And the important thing is, if we're doing something that we think inhibits our growth and success, we ought to self-reflect and figure out what it is and try to moderate that so we can do better for ourselves and those that we associate with.
I love it. One way a guy can get better in life is purchasing the complete set of AmeriCANS, who made America. 18th century birth of the republic. Love that one. New one's out. 19th century growth, division, reunification. It all came. And I don't even, you can still get this, but I don't think it's a 3-book set. Made in America by AmeriCANS, not AmeriCANS. There's a bit of a theme here. Can folks still pick up the threesome?
Absolutely.
Can we get them on your website? How do we do it?
All books are available at Amazon, including Kindle and audio versions of most of the 12 books. At richardbattle.com, all books are signed. If you would like one inscribed for a gift, and these are excellent gifts for graduation or birthday, etc., email me, richard@richardbattle.com, after you order. We're happy to do that as well. And there's hopefully 2 more volumes coming to the set.
All right. Good news, bad. Let's just talk that real quick because I got a minute. So I get now the 20th century. You're going to talk about all the 1900s. I think there's a lot of really great people there. That was my century, man. I was born in the 60s. So there's a whole 100 years there. But when you get to the 21st century, we're only 25 years in. Is it going to be a pamphlet? We don't know. You know what I'm saying? Are you planning on being around for another 80 years so you can get the ending?
The 21st century is not in the plan right now. So my plan is to go back and look at the 16th and 17th century.
Oh, okay.
I didn't do that first because I thought the most important one to get out is the 18th century. And that's why I led with it.
Oh, and speaking of which, it is our 250th anniversary of being a great country. These are great gift ideas. Right?
Absolutely.
Give them to family, friends, anybody who's into the history of the United States. These are fantastic books. Oh, I didn't know you're going backwards. Oh.
Next week, we will talk about one of the characters in the 19th century who influences our lives almost, should every day, but at least any day you go to the ballpark.
Well, we'll see if that happens, because I know you like to suggest things and we go rambling off about golf or something. So we'll try our best. Do exactly what Richard Battle said. Pick up your books, get them at Amazon, richardbattle.com, or whatever you got to do. Battle, love having you on. Thanks for being here, my friend.
Always my pleasure. God bless America.
If it's your turn to host a game, Grandpa's